Good morning. Good morning, good morning. How we doing today? Today is Tuesday. Wasn't sure if I was going to be streaming today. But if I'm honest, I always like streaming. If I had my preference, I'd be streaming every day. We have officially switched over, good morning Ted, Deborah, to the December contracts. And we are sitting on them right now. I'm eyeing these data highs. I'm eyeing the data highs. We swept this really small swing low right here. We're in line with this trend line right here. Glad to have you here this Tuesday morning. Thank you, Deborah. It is nice to be had. It hit 75% of the wick. Did you measure that out there, Ted? Awesome. Yeah, and look where the previous high is. That's the high of, I think it's Thursday. Is that what it is? Now, if the music's too loud, just let me know. I just created an entire playlist. So there is absolutely, no doubtably, no Christmas music. No Christmas music today. For those of you joining, the Christmas, I have a epidemic sound, and out of nowhere, Christmas music will just start playing. It's quite annoying. I'm watching. Oh man, that's a little too closer than I want. Let's see what happens at open here in 6 minutes. Let's see if the equal highs are looking tasty right here. They're in the scopes. They're coming up. The 924s. That's where the equal highs are sitting, around the 924s, and we're sitting around the 780s. So we're over 200 points away. Under 200 points, but close. Is that a breaker at 784? Yes, but I'm gonna call that insignificant. That's to the low side, to a bullish breaker. Are you talking about right here? This low, high, lower, low. I don't like that. Or are you talking about this low, high, this high, low, higher, high? Either way, I want to wait and see what do we got for news. News is on Tuesday. We got retail sales at 8:30. We saw that candle. And at 10 o'clock, we have more news, but it's business inventories. And we have news at 9:15 as well. So 9:15, what did we have a candle reaction at 9:15? Just curious. Not really. It looks like we want to drop. All right, let me get the rest of my... Yes, a bullish breaker. No, I would call this insignificant for a bullish breaker. Okay, I would not be looking at any type of that as a breaker right now. And the reason why, it's not clear. So it could be a breaker, but I would rather have a clear breaker. This isn't clear. This isn't clear at all. Okay. Gino, good morning. How you doing, man? Glad to have you. We got 3 minutes till open. Let me get my charts here set up. What? So, good news. I activated a request for a payout on Sunday, and it was paid out this morning. 2 days. 2 days for a payout from Apex. That's pretty sweet. I didn't do a full amount. I just did since I hadn't had one since my the limit order I left on. I wanted to see kind of where things were at, if it was going to get a payout or not. I did. So they're still paying out, folks. They're still paying. I'm going to. So if you want to start your funded journey on Apex, use the code DTJ. I would greatly appreciate it. DTJ is the code that will always give you the most updated discounts on Apex, and currently they're at 80% off, and then then $85 for lifetime accounts. Okay, for a lifetime account, meaning you pay one time $85, and if you don't blow your account, you can have that account for 10 years without paying anything. It's not a bad deal. I went from doing monthlies to I only do lifetimes. That's the only thing I do. Okay, so we are set up on that. Let's get a decopier set up. To be honest, with all of this crap going around, I was surprised how fast. 2 days. 2 days for a payout. That was crazy. That was crazy fast. I honestly wasn't expecting that. I've had in the past 5, 6 days, 7 days, 2 days. I mean, either they're improving their processes or I don't know. All right, so there's open. Let's see here. 2 minute, there's nothing. 3 minute, there's nothing. 1 minute, there is a fair value gap, but there's too many here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 fair value gaps. We're just gonna let it play out here. And to be honest, we have our opening range gap way down here. So I'm gonna mark our opening range gap. I've already marked all the other stuff. Our midnight open I've marked. And I'm also going to mark our opening price at 9:30, and we're probably going to run that high. There's the data high is probably going to be ran. Not any opportunity, unfortunately, unless you want to gamble some of your money. I'm not going to do that. There'll be a better setup coming up here soon anyway. I'll get a setup here. I'm still getting situated. Okay, so we swept the data highs. Still getting situated here, guys. So I'm sure they got a lot of pushback. Oh, I'm sure. So profit target, Deborah, for the 50K evals is $3,000. And then on a funded account, you got to get an additional 500, and then you can request a payout over 500. So your minimum payout request is $500. Filling in the 1 hour fair value gap. Ted. So Ted, I'm on the December contracts, and that's almost, we got this giant volume imbalance here on the 1 hour. You're going to see all of this, and this is normal, but if we're switching over to the contracts, oh, that's not a volume imbalance. I thought it looked like a volume imbalance. We got a swing high right here, and then we got our data highs up here. These will be ran pretty quickly. This right here, if we close in 4 seconds, that looks very appealing. It swept this low, made equal lows here. I should have sold there. I'm probably, I'm going to get my stop to break even here as soon as I can. I won't let it go past here because it did sweep these lows. Okay, let's see it push. See if it can give us 40 ticks. Gonna move stop to break even because we swept this low right here. Look like it's stuck, to be honest. There it goes. Okay, 60 handle, 60 ticks right there. $15 handles right there, folks. And hopefully at this point if you've hung out with me enough, you know exactly why I took that. That was an obvious no-brainer. Take that 100% of the time type of trade. If I had multiple contracts, I would have sold TP and I would have held more. On top of that, this is our first fair value gap right here. Okay, so this is our opening, New York open, first fair value gap. Okay, so we're gonna mark that. It's right sitting above the 930 price, and I'm looking this, anything lower, we're basically going to fill this opening range gap. This is the opening range gap right here. Okay, that's the opening range gap. We wicked up into this fair value gap. You guys see that? And if we close like this or we close red, that's going to be a continuation move. I would be targeting the new week opening gap right here for our target. Let's see how we respond to this fair value gap right here. Nope, nothing there on the 32nd. I'm expecting resistance here at the 930 price for a continuation lower. All right, I played a quick scalp on my personal account for this continuation lower. Just a light move. I called out resistance here. This was just order flow. Now, this is me learning to be confident that we want to move lower towards these new week opening gaps. And I just sold it because these are just my quick scalps that I'll take based on the order flow that I'm seeing and the confidence that we are going to find resistance at the 9:30 opening price, and we are going to continue to this new week opening gap inside the opening range gap. Now, I could be wrong. This is why I sold my position. It's me just learning order flow more, because sometimes I think it's going to move faster than it actually does, and it takes its time getting down there, and I would rather not sit in it, taking my time. So 2 trades so far, 2 for 2, 1 on my funded account, 1 on my personal account. Hit that like button, guys, if you like the content so far. I greatly appreciate it. And use the code DTJ if you use Apex or you want to get started on your funded journey. It's a free way to support the channel since all this content is free. You know, the last couple weeks, man, something has felt different. Something has felt different for me. Just in my trading, my confidence level, just it feels great. Feels great. I am grateful. All right, see how it's hanging out here? I'll admit right now, I was expecting and wanted to see this push aggressively. And when I took this short here and we went here but didn't continue and we started fluttering right around here, that's when I sold it. Because I know in the past I've been wrong expecting more aggressive moves, and when it doesn't, this is part of the I've struggled with holding my positions. This is part of that struggle because sometimes I'm expecting price to move a lot faster than it does, and then it hangs out in an area for longer than I expect, and that's when I get cold feet. Good morning. Quick solutions. In the flow. I'll take that. I like being in the floor. Good morning, Alki. Charles, how you doing? It's good to have you guys. Glad you're here. Glad we're hanging out. Now, ultimately, like I've said the past few days, I'm looking for the opportunity for that long. Boom, baby. The 920s, that's what I'm looking for. The 920s as my opportunity. If we're aggressive here and we close above this fair value gap, I will take that long. It may not be here. It could be closer to 10 o'clock. I would prefer it to be closer to 10 o'clock anyway. So I'm okay with the fluttering, stuttering, choppiness around here. Maybe wick down to the new week opening gap, fill half of the opening range gap, and start being aggressive to the upside. Oh, baby, you betcha. I will take that. Now, the only thing you got to keep in mind is we literally opened at the previous day high. Okay? So I think we may retrace a little bit more. A little bit before we actually commence the move higher. Here's the range from low to high. You know what? Actually, I want to see what happened with my opening range level. Let's check it out. Here's our low at 9:35 to our high before 10 o'clock. No way. You got to be kidding me. Okay, this is a serious moment here, folks. Okay. Now, I was a little disappointed, admittedly, when I took yesterday's, this is Monday's. This is very important. This is Monday's low and high between 9:30 and 10 o'clock. Okay, 9:30 and 10 o'clock. ICT says take these as this is your range. Target, this is where you can find your lows and your highs for the day. Well, when we look at our day, we ended our day here. This was our day. This was our day right here. Inside that 30-minute range. Here's our high, or here's the 1 standard deviation high and 1 standard deviation low. Look where the 0.95 is, okay? Look where this 0.95 is. 0.95 level, look carefully. 0.95 is 19,827. 827, check this out, 827. Look at the high at the news candle or right here. Look at our high for the morning so far, right where we wicked. Okay, this is, our high is 820, 828. My point in saying this was before the opening price for the next day. And we came up to it. It took way longer than I wanted. I thought we would do it before the New York session closed, but we came up to it and we land on the 9.5 level or close to the 1 level, almost to the tick. I'm going to continue looking at these and using these levels because I think they're significant. I think they're more significant than I ever thought they were. It's crazy. If we were to do the same concept here, this is 9:31. Also, it was at the opening, but it's at 9:31. If we don't get any move we see where the price moves in the next 15 minutes, and then we'll drag a target, a Fibonacci tool for targets. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Yes, I'm on Z right now, Joseph. I switched over late yesterday. I am fully on the December contract, the Christmas contract. Yeah, there is news at 10. What was it? It's something really light news. Business inventories, FOMC member Logan speaks. Okay, we got 59 seconds on this candle. All right, so we're good. So nothing crazy, Alkai. Nothing crazy. Nothing that's going to affect me from stopping to take a setup right now, if there is one. I'm not worried about that. Okay. Okay, so Joseph, this is the difference that you need to make sure you understand. The answer is yes, but no. Treat your idea of a short as you reading and being correct on reading order flow. It does not mean you take a trade. You have to know that difference, okay? You have to know that difference. It does not mean you take the trade. I'm not taking it, and obviously, if price doesn't break above this level, yeah, it's a short, but I'm not going to take it. Your job is to learn to read it, and you're doing a great job. You're reading that, yeah, this is being respected. We should expect price to roll down here. It doesn't mean we take the trade, though. That is the biggest piece you need to accept, not understand, accept that you don't take a trade when you are able to read price. Okay? Why? Well, there is just as much of a chance for this going higher as it does lower. 50-50. I don't want 50-50 odds. Okay? This could literally wicked here, down here, and then exploded higher while I try to take my short. I don't want those 50-50 odds. Okay? I don't want that. Now, this is a model 2022 from ICT. You got our high, low, higher, high, displacement lower, and we fill this fair value gap and are displacing lower. I don't take his model 2022. I'm also bullish on the day on a higher time frame, and I want higher prices. I did mention I wanted to see price come down and hit the new week opening gap. I did. I said that. I said I would rather see it hit here before we move higher. Fair enough. I could have targeted that with this a potential draw in liquidity. If that's your model, and you take your model and you build your model around it. You build a model around the patterns and the liquidity that you're seeing. But just because you can identify, hey, I think this is price is going to move lower, it does not mean you take that move. It means, hey, I'm getting better at reading price. I'm getting better at identifying potential setups. Do I see a model in what I just identified? That's the question you have to ask. I don't like ICT's 2022 model. I rather have a breaker model. But I'm bullish. I was bullish, short-term bearish. I could have taken that, but honestly, what I was looking for, I marked it out. I wanted to see this broken to break through it because I really want to be bullish. So I wasn't looking for this short. I was looking for it to break through. So when it runs my other way, I could change my bias. I could change my idea. I could get in for a quick trade, but I don't need to. And that is the place I'm going to encourage you to accept, that you don't have to take a trade when you think you see price moving in a specific direction, because I can promise you the mistake that will eventually show up is you'll do that, you'll get overconfident, and then you'll blow a count, have a big loss, start over trading because the result of the loss, and then it's this sick cycle that just tumbles down till, somehow you get out of it. So I'm okay letting that go. When I started out, I wasn't that way. No. I wanted to take everything. I'm like, this is going. I don't want to miss the move. Now, as you can tell, I'm talking while this is literally dropping, and I frankly don't care. Because I know something else will come up that I identify before it happens, that I'm prepared for, and then I execute on it. I wasn't ready for this. Maybe you were. But the point is, you coming up with a model around what you're seeing, and you put that in place with a set of rules that you follow. And yes, you could have done that with this. Yes, you could have had, I could justify both. I could justify both for you, why you should have or shouldn't have taken it, right? I love this 930 price being respected in this fair value gap and rejected lower. That's a great trade idea, right? But I was looking for the long, so when it goes short, I'm just going to let it go. So I hope I'm articulating the value in just being able to read price and actually not take a trade. And what probably will happen, Joseph, is I'm going to see this giant move lower, and then after it's done, I'm going to kick myself in the butt and be like, come on, Tyler, why didn't you take that? Why didn't you see that? But what I can do then is mark up my charts, take a snapshot of it, identify, look at what I'm seeing that played out, and then be more aware of it for the next time. That's for me. For you, it might have been you've already identified it, and maybe you took the trade. I mean, because look at this. That's beautiful. So I hope that answers, that helps. There's not a wrong way to trade. If you identified the short based on rules and expectations that you've been able to identify through just your experience on over and over and over, then yeah, that gives you the confidence to take that trade. So props to you for identifying that, because that was beautiful. We got our high, low, higher, high. We break lower. It's a model 2022 where price comes back up past the breaker into a fair value gap that's sitting high. It's also, look at this, from this low to this high. Here's 50%. We reach above the 50% into this fair value gap, and then we displace lower. Beautiful trade. Targeting the new week opening gap. That's great. And we have an opening range gap to further support that idea. That needs to be filled. Doesn't need to be, but can be filled. So what did we do? We reached down to the halfway point of this opening range gap and the new week opening gap. That's the trade. That's a great trade. Now looking back on me looking back, I could have absolutely identified that. If I wasn't so set, I was set. I was set on this being inverted, closing above it, targeting these week highs. I was set. And to be honest, when I look at where price is in relation to, that was probably a wrong assessment on my part. I did say I said I'd be okay with it coming down here. Here's a potential setup as well already. This 1 minute right there. I think I'm going to take a small long. I'm going to see what happens here. Let's see if it violates this right here, I'll close it. But I'm looking at this right here. And that looks like it's going to run through it here. Let's see how it closes in 8 seconds. There it goes. Let's see if it pushes. Give me a push. Keep going. I'll close that. Because I still think, yeah, based on my assessment, my wrong assessment of us going higher here, now that I'm down here, I'm like, well, we could go lower. This is the battle that you have to deal with over and over again, is now you have to filter through the, are we bullish, bearish? Well, I thought I was bullish. Now we're going down. You got this back and forth. That can happen so many times. So I would rather just take that 10 handle win and be done. Actually, it came out to be, no, it was more like 7 handles. But it looks really nice. Really nice to go higher here. Yeah, opening range gap. Super simple. On the bottom right, you'll see it's off my screen. So let me jump over to my big monitor screen. Okay, so does that pop up there? No, it doesn't. Let's see if I can. There it is. Okay. So right here on the bottom, you'll see ETH. You'll just select RTH. and then you'll go from the close of yesterday to today's open. So here's, if you select it, there's yesterday's close. Here's today's open. That's your opening range gap. I'm liking, I want to see this. Okay, I'm on the 2 minute. I'm going to mark the 2 minute out here. Into the 930 price. This is subjective to this fair value gap. So this is not an A plus, but it's an A. It's an A trade. The idea behind it is we swept the low side on the 5 minute. Did we sweep London lows? Pretty close. We swept 50% of the opening range gap. If we close above here, we should expect to see higher prices, but we have this fair value gap that we really have to see if we're going to close above. Because that's the 1 minute first fair value gap of the day that has already shown resistance. Okay? So if we close above this, it's a potential long. That's a subjective. Do I individually decide to take that or not? Because we could find resistance here and not hit this high. We could just be coming in here, coming up here to move lower. That's an option. Considering we have been high, we could fill the rest of this opening range gap. Am I stuck? The question in my mind is, am I so stuck on these triple equal highs that I'm missing the short move? Or am I going to be patient, let a short move take place, and then when I see the long move take place, I take the long trade? Either is an option. I'm partial on being patient, letting whatever short we want out, because I know when we take the move to the upside, that the actual move that runs for those equal highs, it's going to be extremely explosive. It's going to be a fantastic trade, and that's why I keep talking about those equal highs, because I know how explosive they're going to be. Because they will not want them to move their stops for people that have their stops above those equal highs, and it's going to be aggressive. And I'm kind of set on wanting to have that. Is my picture right in the middle of the screen? Look at that. Okay. Let's get back out of there. All right, there we go. I don't know what that is. What is that? Deborah, way to go. I'm proud of you. Keep it up, girl. Yeah, I think so far today on stream, we called out, I think I only called out one trade on screen, but I'm 3 for 3. 3 for 3 on the day. The only one I'm looking at right now is considering this 2 minute, which is in 1 minute and 10 seconds, and or this 1 minute fair value gap to these highs and more. On my funded accounts, I'm done. I made up my losses from yesterday. You guys saw me take those losses yesterday. One trade has covered those losses. And I'm pretty content with that. Come back the rest of the week. We'll have a good rest of the week anyway. Personal account, I'm pretty happy with too. I think what I'm going to do is size down, or I'm going to run over to my micros. MNQZ. Because I want to take multiple contracts so I can just hold a runner. I think that's my last trade for the day. This will probably be my last trade for today. Assuming it's this or this. That's kind of what I'm looking for. Now, if the 2 minute starts getting close to here, I'm going to drop down to the 1 minute. Let's see, the 1 minute's right here in 17 seconds. I may consider taking a one because this is very aggressive. Let's see where it closes. And we close below it. Do you see how we close below that fair value gap on the 1 minute? Okay, that's fine. We'll be patient. We'll wait. Let's see what the 2 minute looks like. 2 minute closes in 49 seconds. This is the 2 minute. This is the 1 minute. And then we have this higher. This is the first fair value gap of the day. I think I'm going to take along here. See how this goes. Did we close above it? No, we didn't. And did I take the wrong? Did I go short? I don't even know. I'm just closing that. That was confusing to me. Holy cow. What just happened? All right, so we closed back in it. That's why I got out. Because we should, I thought we were going to close above and I just didn't want to miss it. But since we closed below, close it out immediately. Wrong. If the setup didn't show up as I was expecting, your best option is to get out completely. Don't go, well, I'm in it. Let's just see what happens. Disaster. Did the 2 minute close above? The 2 minute did close. The 2 minutes closed. There it goes. Let's see where we at. I'll wait for this 1 minute to close. This is being tricky here. This is why we wait for specific closes. The 2 minute, yeah, but what did I say? I started looking at this 1 minute when we were getting closer to it, and we actually rejected this 1 minute. So I'm not going to go based on the 2 minute. This 1 minute's being rejected. So I'm looking at this 1 minute now. Forget the 2 minute. And I'm looking at this 1 minute up here as well. Okay, there's the close above. I am in a long in my personal account. I don't know if I can... You guys can see it here. I'm wanting this to push. We're waiting. We want this to close over this 1 minute right here. This is very important. Okay, no close. That could mean I'm going to get stopped out. We're going to take 3 contracts off, and we will let the rest of this come to break even if it's going to. I will let that run. I will not be taking that off. Let's go back here. I'm still looking for this to close above right here, folks, this 1 minute. I want that to close. It's also still in the macro. It didn't wick me out there, but it's probably going to run lower here. All right, stopped out at break even for the rest of those micro contracts. Slightly disappointing, to be honest. We're going to watch this level here. I'm watching this 1 minute here. We will not get in early. We will wait. I'm looking for this high to be swept, that I can move my stop to break even. Oh, come on. Don't do that. Give it to me. Little push, and I will drop it. Will not let that go against me any further than that. I like this breaker here. We have a 5 minute also. I'm probably just not being patient enough, folks. That's what I think I'm identifying. Way to go, Charles. It's the breaker model. Breaker. So I was looking at this here, but we were getting a lot of this resistance here, right at this level. We broke above it. We weren't moving, and I was expecting some aggression. That's why I got cold feet and ended up closing my position. And as you can see, we aggressively ran against that. We wicked down into this 5 minute. This is nice. What I'm going to look is see where we close, and then when we close above this right here, this will be the idea. This will be nice. I wanted to see it happen in one. I will give it a second chance, but if it doesn't do it in two candles, this is also a breaker here. So we're looking at the idea that we want to see higher prices towards these highs, these equal highs way up here. And we want to see if price wants to go there. Price has rebalanced this entire range. And the only reason it will go higher is if it, in fact, wants to run towards those equal highs. So we have to see that. It could take this rebalancing of this 1 minute fair value gap and then move lower. That's an option. Right now, it's just about being careful and not over trading. So, gonna sit and be patient. I had a couple of these ideas that these were clear ideas that just didn't play out. So if I'm getting multiple things that are showing up that are not playing out, I'm almost inclined to just call it a day because I'm still green on the day. Last thing I want to do is overtrade and trying to make something happen that maybe it doesn't want to happen. Maybe I missed the idea. And this was the nice trade on the down here that we identified. And so this was in discount, nice deep discount in regards to the range. So we would have been able to capitalize on all of that. Now that we're up here, price can be more finicky and then provide a continuation. So the idea is, where is that continuation going to be? I get excited when I see aggressive moves lower followed by aggressive moves higher, because typically the first move is manipulation followed by the second move, which is a continuation. Oh my gosh, Ted, I've had that happen. Or like my program or my computer shut off or something like that. That's just nerve-wracking, man. You're like, holy cow, what do I do? Come on, get up. Freaking out the entire time. The other thing is it's 10:17. It's 10:17 right now. So we could get some choppy price action. Let's see if it wants to go now, or if it's just gonna do that and come back down. You see that? See how that's just, we're outside of the macro time. And what you thought was going to be a big move just is not. It could be reversing here. It's on a breaker. It's not bad, but quite annoying. What happened to my music? Yeah, I'm glad you didn't blow your account either, man. That can be very nerve-wracking. Yeah, I mean, prices, to be honest, it's not really respecting a lot of things. Even for the move lower, it closes above this fair value gap. It runs above the, let's jump to the 2 minute. Let's see if the 2 minute looks better. Nope, not at all. Let's go to 30 seconds, see if that looks nice. Not really. Not really. Yeah, there's not really. Nothing looks really good here. I do on a higher time frame. I like that we've wicked and filled this 15-minute. Would have preferred it to see it not be fully filled. If we consider this a displacement candle, suggesting lower prices, we did fill this. You see that wick here to this high right here? Mitigation block. On the 30-second. See if we run to this high here. It's a 30-second inversion right here to this high. Okay, so that filled. And then we get aggressive. Is this an institutional order flow entry drill where we wick into this fair value gap? We also wicking into this breaker, low, high, lower, low, right there. Let's see if it wants to actually use that as momentum to go higher after we swept this and filled this 5-minute, or if we're gonna just stay around here. Also put it there if you wanted on the body. Nope, doesn't want to go higher. Choppy choppy. Chippity choppity. This is why I'm done, folks. I'm not gonna mess around in that. Log out of all those funded accounts. Oh, look at that. Look how that reacted, man. You see that reaction here? Big wick lower for this level. Still respected the breaker here. Let's see, we need it. I mean, the only way this works is if it begins to push higher there. It needs to push it aggressively. Don't like it. I don't like it, folks. It's not being very kind today. We'll watch the midpoint of this wick here. See if it wants to stay in the upper quadrant of this wick. You see what this is doing? Do you see this? This is like them saying, we know you think we're going higher, but we're going to continue to get more of these buy stops before we actually run. So it's 10:30 right now. Our safe answer is to wait till the macro and to assume everything else is just going to chop you out. Now it could run without us. I mean, when I say without us, that's assuming you're looking for that trade. Do we have FOMC this week? It is FOMC here. September 17th and 18th. So that's today and tomorrow. So tomorrow might be, I think Tuesday, Wednesday, 2 p.m. That's right. Okay. Folks, this makes sense. I don't know why I missed this. FOMC is tomorrow at 2 p.m. Today's going to be crap. Probably the rest of the day. There's almost no reason to continue trading. Yeah, folks, I think what we're going to do is call it a day. There's no reason to be on, and I don't want to encourage any trading during this time. So we're going to call it a day here, folks. If you do use Apex, I would greatly appreciate using DTJ, code DTJ. For those, hit the like button if you appreciate the commentary today. And God bless you guys. Stay safe. We'll be back tomorrow morning. We will do here's probably what tomorrow's going to look like. We're probably going to do an early morning trading session, and I may consider doing a post FOMC. Post FOMC is probably going to be there. So consider hanging out with us for that as well. So we'll see you guys. This price, I mean, I don't even care at this point. This is just ugly.